Greetings everyone, and thank you for joining us for this week's edition of GTV. I'm Don Valiant, and this is the news from Gyeonggi Province this week. Gyeonggi Province and the cities of Seongnam and Gwangju recently signed an agreement for the joint realization of rail line extension projects in these regions. Having received its first rail line connection only 3 years ago, the Gwangju region still suffers from a serious lack of rail services. A growing population adds to the transportation problems faced by its residents.
전철이 시간차가 빠르면은 좀 쉽게 갈 수 있는데 그게 안 되니까 거기서 버스 타고 나가기도 하고 기다리는 시간이 오래 걸리니까.
Neighboring residential and industrial districts in Seongnam City face similar situations. According to this agreement, the three authorities will form a joint executive committee and pursue the early implementation of 2 local rail line projects through proposals to the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure and Transportation.
경기도의 동부권 핵심이라고 할 수 있는 성남시와 광주시에 경사가 생긴 것 같습니다. 우리 도에서도 열심히 추진하고 또 지원해서 신속하게 철도망이 구축될 수 있도록 현실화될 수 있도록 최선을 다하겠고.
When the rail line extension from Seosu Station in Seoul to Gwangju Station is complete, the travel time will be reduced to 12 minutes, significantly improving transportation between these two cities. The extension from Uidae in Seoul to Everland will be pursued initially through Uidae and Samdong of Seongnam City. On September 17th, Gyeonggi Province and National Assembly members jointly hosted a forum to discuss ways in which to promote national and private investments in the development of U.S. military bases that have been or will be returned to the province. Hosted by Gyeonggi Province and 11 National Assembly members, this forum was joined by more than 400 participants, including related local government officials, specialists, and residents. Approximately 75% of the bases that have been or will be vacated when the U.S. military relocates to KINTEX City are situated in northern Gyeonggi Province. However, development of these sites is hindered by financial burdens faced by local governments. To address this issue, a professor presented a proposal for the initiation of development by the central government.
국가와 민족을 위해서 우리 후손들이 충성을 계속할 수 있도록 군부대가 떠나더라도 충성을 할 수 있도록 하는 제도적인 장비, 입법이 되었으면 좋겠고.
A researcher from a provincial institute presented overseas cases in which returned military bases were developed as national projects.
필리핀도 개발을 끝냈는데 우리는 개발을 못하고 있는 지역이 많죠. 그 이유가 뭐냐면 국가주도 개발을 했습니다. 그래서 특히 경제 특구로 지정을 했고요.
Presentations were followed by discussions among officials from related agencies, as well as specialists from academic and research institutes. Participants generally agreed on the need for development and institutional improvement at national levels and for active private investment, as well as for the establishment of a dedicated work group and related infrastructure. The necessity for national-level developments was also asserted by Gyeonggi Province Governor Lee Jae-myung.
미군 공여지, 반환 공여지가 실질적으로 개발돼서 지금까지 치렀던 그 억울함이 일부나마 해소될 수 있도록 합리적인 정책안을 만들어내고 또 실제 빠르게 집행될 수 있도록 우리 많은 분들의 각별한 관심을 부탁드립니다.
Through multifaceted efforts, Gyeonggi Province is pursuing the establishment of a former U.S. military base work group and a special accounting system as viable policies through the Ministry of Public Administration and Security. Following confirmed cases of African swine fever in Paju City, Gyeonggi Province stated in a press briefing that it will implement strong measures to contain the disease and prevent its spread. Immediately after official confirmation of African swine fever cases, Gyeonggi Province moved swiftly to respond. The province convened a meeting of local government deputy heads, raised the crisis alert level, and launched preventive actions based on guidance from related organizations.
아프리카 돼지열병은 인수공통 전염병이 아니기 때문에 국민 여러분들께서는 큰 걱정을 하지 않으셔도 됩니다. 다만 아프리카 돼지열병 종식을 위해 발생동과 방문 금지 등 적극 협조해 주시기 바라겠습니다.
Gyeonggi Province has also begun emergency operations through its disaster and safety headquarters in response to the disease. Gyeonggi Province Governor Lee Jae-myung instructed officials to implement the strongest measures utilizing all available resources to control the spread of the disease in its early stages.
비상대기 상태라고 생각하고 과하다 싶을 정도로 하죠. 이게 지금 잘못하면 호미로 막을 걸 가래로도 못 막는 사태가 혹시 생길 수 있기 때문에 아예 초기에 최대치로 대응하도록 하겠습니다.
Control measures include the culling of affected animals, establishing checkpoints, and restricting travel between livestock farms. All the pigs at the 2 affected farms in Paju City will be culled, while 5 checkpoints and sterilization facilities at strategic locations will operate around the clock. In addition, all vehicles that have visited the affected farms will be tracked down and monitored. All pig farms in Paju City are now subject to a curfew. As requested by Paju City, Gyeonggi Province will provide emergency support of 1 billion Korean won for disease control. Recently, a large number of paper companies in the construction industry were uncovered in Gyeonggi Province. These companies were created with the intent of unfairly facilitating contract bids. One enterprise was found to have created as many as 16 paper companies for that purpose. A number of containers stand in a remote country area with a company nameplate attached to each. Bearing similar names, some of these containers appear to be offices, while others appear to be storage spaces. These are the 16 paper companies established by one construction enterprise. These companies were used as individual bidders so as to improve the chances of winning construction contracts.
각 현장마다 다 현장 사무실이 있잖아요. 그게 막 되게 엄청 수십 개인데 꼭 여기에 몇 명 없다고 해서 그게 페이퍼 컴퍼니다라고 얘기하기는 좀.
Gyeonggi Province has uncovered 39 construction enterprises that are suspected of having created such paper companies. When one of these paper companies wins a contract, they transfer the associated work to subcontractors and make easy profits. Apart from unfair competition and substandard building management, these companies recoup their operation costs through increased real estate prices.
이러한 다수의 업체를 유지하기 위해서는 막대한 비용이 필요합니다. 이러한 비용은 공공 택지를 분양받고 고스란히 분양가 상승으로 이어질 수밖에 없습니다.
There are also those enterprises that lack appropriate construction personnel numbers and thus do not qualify for construction business registration. Gyeonggi Province reported the apprehended enterprises to the police. These enterprises also face administrative punishments. Gyeonggi Province is also pursuing related ordinance amendments so as to eradicate paper company establishment and illegal subcontracting practices in the construction industry. Last week, an international forum on air pollution was held at the Suwon Convention Center. During the forum, Korean and overseas participants shared air quality information and the related policies of their nations and discussed microdust issues. Hosted by Gyeonggi Province, this 2-day forum, titled 2019 Clean Air International Forum, featured more than 600 environmental specialists and related organization representatives from more than 20 nations. The forum was organized jointly by the Korea Green Foundation and the Korea Association of Energy, Climate Change, and Environment, with the aim of devising solutions to serious air pollution stemming from regional development in East Asia.
이웃이 함께 미세먼지를 어떻게 줄일 것인가에 대해서 고민하고 대책을 마련해야 된다고 보고 우리만 사는 것이 아니라 미래의 후손을 위한 그런 깨끗한 환경, 깨끗한 지구를 물려줄 수 있습니다.
Led by representatives of Northeast Asian nations, including Korea, China, Japan, and Thailand, the first day of the forum saw presentations on the current air quality conditions and related policies of each nation. It was commonly noted that microdust levels are higher in capital city regions and that diesel vehicles and coal-fired power plants have serious effects on air quality.
In last year, in 2018, another new plan was released, the 3-year plan on defining the blue sky.
After we got the information, we have to disseminate the data to the people to make the people understand what happened about the situation and how can they manage themselves.
There were also presentations on microdust reduction cases from voluntary movements. The second day of the forum saw the introduction of new air pollution reduction technologies, including those encompassing new and renewable energy. Gyeonggi Province will continue to seek international cooperation in tackling air pollution issues as a member of an intergovernmental community. In commemoration of the first anniversary of the Inter-Korean Summit in Pyongyang, an international forum was held in Gyeonggi to discuss Korean Demilitarized Zone, or DMZ, as a place of peace and cooperation. Organized by Gyeonggi Province and the Gyeonggi Research Institute, this two-day forum, titled 2019 DMZ Forum, was held at the KINTEX Exhibition Center in Goyang City, with the aim of fostering discussions on ways in which to transform the DMZ into a place of peace and cooperation. During his opening address, Gyeonggi Province Governor Lee Jae-myung revealed 3 inter-Korean exchange projects, including the joint pursuit of UNESCO World Heritage Site designation for the DMZ.
지정학적 운명과 분단의 현실이 우리를 억누르고 있다고 할지라도 굴하지 않고 꿋꿋하게 가는 것이 지금 우리가 해야 할 일입니다. 주저하거나 마다하지 않고 그 길을 가는 것이 경기도의 역할이라고 믿습니다.
Phan Kim Phu, the napalm girl depicted in a renowned photograph taken during the Vietnam War, spoke about how she became a peace worker and emphasized the importance of inter-Korean peace and overcoming division.
This reunification will require the breaking down of barriers, both tangible and intangible, that have been in existence for too long. I have no doubt that the leaders and people from both North Korea and South Korea are up to the challenge.
During her address, Gloria Steinem, a world-renowned women's rights and peace activist, denounced the violent nature of war and emphasized the importance of peace on the Korean Peninsula for global peace. During a special session, Korean and international scholars discussed inter-Korean cooperation, the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula, and the multinational cooperation of East Asian nations. The next session saw recommendations made on ways in which to utilize the DMZ for peaceful purposes and preserve its ecology. On the second day of the forum, participants discussed DMZ and peace-related policies in Gyeonggi Province. During the closing session, they adopted the DMZ Peace Declaration and proposed the establishment of the DMZ Peace Prize System. On September 28th, bus fares in Gyeonggi will increase to alleviate bus operator losses stemming from operation cutbacks. To balance for these fare increases, Gyeonggi Province, bus operators, and related trade unions agreed to improve bus services. Bus fares will increase by 200 Korean won for ordinary buses, by 400 Korean won for express buses, and by 450 Korean won for circuit buses. Service improvement plans were announced jointly by Gyeonggi Province and bus operators. Gyeonggi Province will invest 327 billion Korean won in bus service improvement by 2022.
경기도 버스가 요금 인상과 더불어서 정말 서비스가 많이 좋아졌다. 탈만한 버스다. 좋은 버스다라는 그런 인식을 심어줄 수 있도록 모두 같이 노력해 주시면 감사하겠습니다.
In addition, Gyeonggi Province will provide youths under 18 years of age and college students with annual transportation cost support. Bus fares will be exempted for up to 3 children under 6 years of age, while current fares will be applied to all passengers during the early hours until 6:30 a.m. Gyeonggi Province will increase the number of intercity buses and begin trial operations of premium intercity buses. Free Wi-Fi service will also be made available on all buses. The Gyeonggi Bus Union also agreed to ensure safe bus operation and better services.
불친절, 난폭운전, 부정차가 사라지도록 노동조합에 먼저 발벗고 나서겠습니다.
Thank you for joining us for this week's edition of GTV. We look forward to seeing you again next week.